Hello, my name's Ashley and welcome to One Stitch After Another. This is a little channel where I share with you all things knitty, all things yarny. I will be coming on to some cross stitch later on, not in this video, but through the life of my little channel. And thank you so much if you have subscribed. For me, I had a little video go almost viral. It was so exciting. I put up a video, something like a yarn snob spends £10 on yarn in Aldi, what happens next? And I think I've had 25,000 views or something. So thank you so much if you took the time to watch that. Thank you so much if you subscribed. Today, this isn't a kind of standard podcast. I've got a cup of coffee, which is going cold. But here in the UK, it is the start of British summertime. Well, in fact, that was yesterday. It is April the 1st, and I'm feeling really optimistic about the longer, lighter days to come and what opportunities that is going to give us for just doing more in our day-to-day lives. And if you have seen any of my videos before, you will know that I am working on a Northeasterly blanket, and I have got, I think it is 4 complete columns. I'm doing mine 90 inches long by 90 inches wide. It will be. It is not perfect. There are places where I've had to cobble together. You see this ugly mess here. I don't know what I do wrong, but sometimes when I join as I go, I obviously, perhaps when I'm knitting in the semi-dark at night, I must not pick up the loops properly here, and it starts unraveling and you can't save it. It's really difficult to save it, so I've done my best and cobbled it. There are bits that I'm really pleased with that are ever so neat. There are bits that are a little bit like a dog's dinner, but this is a handmade item. It is for me. I'm not selling it, and I am making a commitment that I am, through April, going to spend 30 minutes for 30 days knitting on this gorgeous project. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity today to do a little bit of knitting, have a little chat with you. I've put a progress keeper here, so I know that this one is my start, and then I'm going to monitor how much I do every day. And I absolutely love this pattern. I think if you are a serious knitter and somebody that is on Ravelry, you will know this pattern. Lots of people have knitted it. Maybe I was a little bit stupid to go the whole hog and think, yes, I'm going to do 90 by 90. You can do it any size, really. And each column is, when blocked, about 3 inches wide. I'm just checking how many stitches I've got. I'm not giving any pattern things away. So that's that. Yes, I should have a stitch marker to let me know when I need to do a purl stitch. This is in garter stitch, and I am using predominantly yarn from a yarn advent. Clearly I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish this project with just one yarn advent. The yarn advent that I started this with was from Elderflower Stitches. I'll leave a link to her shop and her YouTube channel down below. I'm not sponsored. I bought the yarn advent with my own money. I really like her pale pastel colour aesthetic, and so I have purchased a couple more mini sets from her. And when I started this, there was a really young girl came to the knitting group that I go to every week, and she'd been in the UK for a while. I think she might have been born in the UK, but her parents went out to Australia when she was a child, and she lived over there but came over here to go to university and stayed a while, had a very high-powered job in London, but was missing all of her friends in Australia. So she went back, which is a real shame, because the ladies in my knitting group are all of a certain age. No, that's not quite right. Actually, we've had a couple of new members recently, but Sophia was such a lovely, bright young thing, and an extremely accomplished knitter for one so young. And she also experimented with some yarn dyeing, and this one here is one of hers, and she gifted it to me. She gifted me 2 skeins. I think it was that one, and this one. She said she wouldn't use them, and she gifted them to me. I offered to give her some money, but she wouldn't have any, so I bought her dinner. I bought her dinner at one of our knitting nights, and the colours just tie in so perfectly with Susie from Elderflower Stitches pale colours. You can tell I'm not a very good knitting podcaster. I'm not very good at knitting and talking at the same time. But I've been on this, let me see. I think I started it in January 2022. So I've been going a little while, and it is nowhere near finished. I've decided, so that I don't get tangled up, that I am going to knit a complete column. I had started by just doing a column and then putting stitches on waste yarn when I'd got to a point where I thought I've had enough of that now, I want to do the next column. But I was finding that my little ends were getting tangled up, and I just really would like the satisfaction of achieving columns, and I think the beauty of that is as well that if I get to a point where actually I realise that I don't need to do 30 columns, 20 columns might be sufficient. I mean, 60 inches is still 5 feet, isn't it? So, you know, 60 by 90 would still be a substantial blanket to have on the sofa. The plan for this is that I've got a cream leather sofa in my kitchen, and the plan for this is that it's going to go over the arm of it and just look very pretty, but we will see. So investing 30 minutes a day for 30 days, I can see myself getting up on a bright sunny morning, should we get any in the UK, and sitting on my cuddler chair in my living room with a cup of tea first thing in the morning, and listening to the news on Radio 4, BBC Radio 4. It's one of my favourite things to do, and just getting my 30 minutes in before I start my day, whether it be a work day, I work a couple of days in a school, or whether it be a day where I'm working from home. I do have another channel, another YouTube channel called Paper and Twine, and in 2021 I won a competition at Card Maker of the Year. So in the UK we have a lot of crafting magazines for paper crafts. They're generally sold in stationers and supermarkets, and I won this Card Maker of the Year competition in 2021 and got a place on their design team. So I do currently have a magazine commission to work on. I've got to make 7 cards for a feature by the end of this month. They've got to arrive there by the end of this month, and I have to write all the copy. So sometimes when I'm not in school working, I'm working here in my craft studio, doing paper crafting things. I'm not a professional knitter, I'm not a designer or anything. I would like to design. I think I put on this channel in January a knitting goals for 2024. I've broken one of them already. One of them was to not buy unnecessary yarn, and I think I've bought a ball of sock yarn. I went on a little trip up north to the north of England, Yorkshire, and I bought a ball of West Yorkshire Spinners sock yarn because I don't own any of that, and I will knit myself a pair of socks. I've also, although I didn't buy it, my husband did, for my Aldi yarn video, he bought me 8 balls of yarn from Aldi, which came to £10.32, I believe. It was £1.29 a ball. I hope the maths is right on that, but it was 8 balls, I think. And I you may have seen already, or it may go up after this, I have bought 3 skeins of yarn from Lay Family Yarn in the special edition Herkle Durkle colourway, which was dyed by the lovely Gaynor from Tales from Cuckoo Land. I was influenced, and again, this is my FOMO. I have really bad FOMO in all areas of my life. I thought I've got to have that. It's a limited edition colour, and I have started knitting a little cardigan for myself in that yarn, and it is beautiful. I'd never bought any Lay Family Yarns merino before. It's superwash merino, I believe, and it is so soft. It's like knitting with butter. It is really beautiful, and I'm uber excited. I got on a yarn retreat there in October. I'm going to learn to do some hand dyeing, so I'm really excited for that. My coffee is very lukewarm now, but have you got any projects that you're invested in that are going to take you a lifetime? Let me just count how many stitches I need here. I might treat myself and put one little stitch marker there, so I know that on the wrong side I have to purl the central stitch, and sometimes it's not easy to see that central stitch. But yes, I love this blanket and I love the colours in it, and every so often I will see a skein and think that will go nicely. I've got 2 bags of minis that I've wound, 2 little project bags like this, full of minis and full skeins that I can dip into. It's like a little sweet shop. If I hadn't got a cat, I might consider having them in a little basket that I could dip into, but my cat would think, oh, this is lovely, this is something nice to play with. But I'm just getting to the tricky bit where you have to join as you go. I find it tricky. I bet all of you guys that are very accomplished knitters would find it really easy. But there we go, I've got that bit. And my washing machine is beeping at me to tell me that it is finished. I don't know whether to risk putting it outside or whether to be lazy and wasteful and put it in the tumble dryer. There we go. So yes, I'm enjoying this very much. I've got to a point here where I have got a bit of a mess going on, where my stitches unravelled. It's the only thing that I haven't quite got right in this project, and where I've joined, in some cases it has been a little bit of a mess. These needles that I'm using are very old. They belonged to my nana. I can't even see, I think they're size 12, but they're this mint green metal needle, and they are not very sharp at the ends, so I'm not getting a lot of speed up with this project, and I have to be careful that I don't split the yarn. It's absolutely nothing to do with the yarn, it is the tool that I'm using. I know some people just do this blanket on double pointed needles, but I was worried about losing stitches, so I do like to work on this straight needle. Although saying that, I have just recently invested in some very small circular needles, but again, no, I'd be worried without little things to put on the end of your tips. I'd be worried about the stitches falling off. So yes, I just absolutely love this blanket. I know that I've read some reviews on Ravelry of this pattern, and some people say they liked it to start with, but then they found the garter stitch monotonous. But I really like it, and this is slow going today. I've only done, I think this is my 3rd row talking to you guys in 14 minutes. So if I were to spend 30 minutes a day, I might not get as much done as I want, as I think, but it's coming together quite nicely. So I'd love it if you let me know where you're from. And I think as I've whittled on and you're very bored, I think I will say goodbye now, and I'll be back with a proper podcast very soon. I may put a little montage together of me knitting on this every day, not film every day, but so you can see the progress. And I'll perhaps come back on the 30th of April and show you how far I've actually got with this. Thank you so much for giving up some of your time to watch, and if you have found any value in this drivel, please do consider subscribing, like, share, hit the notification bell, do all that lovely YouTube stuff, because it does help me out. And I'll be back very soon. Don't forget to comment. Bye now.